Welcome to the channel. I'm the Scottish Astrologer, and in this video I will talk about the upcoming total solar eclipse which takes place tropically in the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, and what we can all expect from this, from my interpretation of the chart of that moment. Now, solar eclipses bring change and are known to predict natural disasters and also even social disasters. And this information was known also by the ancients. And so, as it's 2020, a great conjunction year, a Halloween full moon year, and the year we have entered another grand solar minimum and the age of Aquarius, in my opinion, I expect this eclipse to signal a big natural disaster, sadly, of some kind. Most likely a big earthquake or a big volcanic eruption sometime around about this eclipse. And as we are also seeing a lot of volcanic activity and a lot of quakes right now, which I believe are leading up to something big being triggered by this eclipse. And I feel this eclipse is also a major warning concerning a major social disaster right around the corner, considering again the timing of this eclipse and also the astrology of that moment, which I will dive into now, and then we'll give a detailed prediction based off the chart. So on screen now is a tropical chart showing the moment of this eclipse, and as you can see we have the sun and moon, of course, and so the eclipse taking place in 23 degrees 8 seconds of Sagittarius. Then focusing our attention towards the planets that are aspecting and so energetically connecting, if you like, with this eclipse. So as you can see, we have Mercury, and it is in a conjunction with the sun and moon at 20 degrees Sagittarius. Now Mercury is in detriment in Sagittarius, as this means Mercury really does not like being there. So we also have the south node of the moon in its proper place of rulership, currently in 19 degrees of Sagittarius, and obviously also conjunct the eclipse, as the node signified a proximate part of the sky where the path of the sun and the moon overlap and thus allow an eclipse to take place. Moving on, we also have the triple conjunction of Saturn, Jupiter and Pluto in the zodiac sign of Capricorn, which is making a sextile aspect to the sun and moon, and so of course eclipse. We also have Neptune, who is in rulership in the zodiac sign of Pisces, and Neptune is making a square aspect to the sun and moon, as well as we also have Mars, the god of war, in rulership in the zodiac sign of Aries, making a trine aspect to the sun and moon, and of course Mercury. So a lot of powerful planetary energies making their mark on this eclipse. So the moon, okay, represents the people collectively. The sun would represent, especially in this case, the out in the open leader of the people, okay, the leader of the people. Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter conjunction in Capricorn right now is representing a hidden power, which you can call the deep state or the powers that be, etc., whatever you want to label them as. Now moving on to Neptune, which represents our collective consciousness or collective emotion, if you like. And last but certainly not least, Mars in Aries is representing the extremely high potential for conflict and civil anger and violence in many different forms right now. Moving on, now this eclipse is precisely 1 week away from the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter at 0 degrees Aquarius, a once in a 800-year event, as it will represent a Christmas star being at this period. And it's also moving into the air trigons, and it's been on Earth for a long time, 800 years. Now, on the winter solstice, this is when this great conjunction will take place, Yule, so a very, very rare and special great conjunction indeed, which I and others, in mine and others' opinions, okay, on that date, okay, the 21st of December, Yule, this year, that is the entry date into the age of Aquarius. So times of unbelievable change, which is obviously clear right now physically. Now check out a video I made over 2 years ago now called The Great Conjunction of 2020. I will leave a link in the description box below. But that video is very relevant right now, even though I made it over 2 years ago. I wanted to make it a distant from this actual time. Again, I think most people enjoy that video, so please check that out. It's in the links in the description box below. Now, before I delve into the obvious elephant in the room question regarding this solar eclipse taking place on the day of the Electoral College and what this means for the whole Trump-Biden scenario, let me first tell you this. In the zodiac, there are only 2 signs that symbolically cause the sun, or in this case also the moon, due to an eclipse and being together, harm. And that is the zodiac signs of Scorpio and Sagittarius, as the sun is symbolically pierced by the stinger on the tail of the scorpion as it moves through that sign, and is then pierced in the next sign by the arrow of the archer, Sagittarius. And as this eclipse will be the rough timing, okay, of the rollout of vaccines in the West, and the moon again representing the people, and this time being injected with the arrow of the archer, if you like, this harmonizes perfectly above with what is about to take place below, planned or not. Again, what is going on in the heavens at that moment is undeniably taking place below here on earth, as above so below, as again this eclipse moves through Sagittarius at this correct moment of the rollout of the vaccine. And again, the moon representing the people, and the arrow of the archer of Sagittarius representing the people being injected, if you like, at this moment in time. Okay, so very uncanny timing for what's going on in the heavens concerning what's taking place down below here on earth at that exact moment, again, when the West begins to roll out the vaccine. Now, concerning the Electoral College vote taking place 14th of December, again on the day of this solar eclipse, and what that means for Trump and Biden, in my opinion, and the possibility of the election being overturned in Trump's favour due to voter fraud that everybody keeps talking about happening. So I'll give my opinion on that. What do I think about that? Is the astrology showing that, in my opinion? And let me first say, I can see why people think that that is possible, okay, of the Electoral College overturning this election in Trump's favour. I can see why people do think that's possible, as it is 2020 after all, and as there's again an eclipse on the day of the Electoral College vote, and as this eclipse conjuncts with Trump's natal 4th house moon sign. But it does all seem to fit, okay? Now, do I think this eclipse shows that Trump will stay in office thanks to the Electoral College? Well, the answer is no, I don't. I think this eclipse on the day of the Electoral College signals the end of Trump's political career, okay, for now, okay, keep that in mind, for now, as the Electoral College confirms Joe Biden. Though there may be some strangeness or unfamiliar happenings that take place during the Electoral College process, that it might actually produce effects of that nature. That doesn't go smoothly as it always does, and can even look like it's going to go for Trump. It might not, but it might cause strangeness on the day of the Electoral College. And I said for now, politically regarding Trump, as I truly believe Trump will run for re-election again, possibly in 2024, but more likely, in my opinion, to run again and win in 2028. Of course, if he's still kicking around at that point, but I truly believe that he will be. And I believe if Trump runs and wins in 2028, he will serve until the year 2033, when he is replaced by the winner of course, the 2032 election. But after not running for re-election, I think Trump will not run for re-election in 2032. He'll be stepping down and just letting someone take over. Again, I truly believe he will win the 2028 election if he does run in it, on a platform of the good old Trump days and bringing America back again. Baba even, bring America back again. It'll be something similar to how he won back in 2016. Now, this is what I foresee for Donald Trump. Him pulling Winston Churchill, if you like, and serving two separate terms. And also at the same time becoming the oldest president, beating Biden's record. And again, I may be wrong, but I did predict Trump's victory in 2016 when basically no one else did. I will leave the link to that early video of mine in the description box below, so you can all check that out. Now, at the time, all the top astrologers were saying Hillary would win, and I predicted Trump mainly because Trump had his Jupiter return in Libra, which highly favoured him for victory, especially in politics. And of course I was right. Against all odds, he won. Now in 2028, once again roughly 12 years on from 2016, Trump has another Jupiter return, which will again favour him massively as it did before. And so if Trump runs in 2028, Trump will win, without a doubt in my mind. So you heard it here first, Trump 2028. And I know it sounds unbelievable, but just wait and see. I also correctly predicted Trump not being able to win this election in a video called Trump's Lunar Eclipse Nightmare back in June, unpopular as though that opinion was at the time. I will also leave a link in the description for that video as well. Now, my point being, my track record with predicting Trump outcomes is a good one. Now, I say and I foresee that Trump's full political ending is signalled by two solar eclipses on May the 9th and, funny enough, on November 3rd, election day possibly, 2032. And as they conjunct Trump's midheaven and IC Moncoli respectively. Again, this will trigger his exit, for real this time, for proper. Now let's go back to 2020 and this solar eclipse as it conjuncts Trump's natal moon sign, okay, in his 4th house of family and home. And this eclipse signals change for Trump in that area. So to me, as he currently lives in the White House, I expect that to change, as well as change in the family due to possibly a divorce or maybe for some other reason. Now, on top of this eclipse affecting this area for Trump, Trump is also going through what is known as a nodal return, okay? And Trump's nodes are in their signs of rulership. So this signals a massive change in life path for Trump. And what could be a bigger change in life path than going from being president to not being president? That's a massive change in life path, in my opinion. And again, currently living in the White House and the eclipse landing in the house of family and home signals change in that area. So to me, of course, he'll be leaving the White House. But again, it could go the opposite way, as other people are saying with the Electoral College. I could be wrong. It's possible. Anything's possible, like I'm saying. It could be it's looking as if Trump's currently out the White House right now, and then that day it changes and that becomes his home again, for instance. It could work that way. Anything's possible. Again, it is 2020, a year of wackiness, and totally anything can happen here. But again, my prediction, I'm sticking with it, is what I said. the Electoral College is the day of Trump's current political end until 2028 or 2024, but again, most likely 2028. Now again, after this Electoral College vote, regardless of what happens, either way, after that point shown by Mars, the god of war and rulership in Aries, there is a real risk of violence and conflict due to heightened anger from amongst the people to even between nations themselves. There is a very real and dangerous risk, especially civilly in the US. Now the risk for conflict and anger and war has been high for a good percentage of this year, as Mars has remained in rulership in Aries, went into retrograde and came back out, and he's just made him remain in Aries for a long time, and is a very close approach to the Earth, very bright and fiery in the sky. You can see Mars easily in the sky, very clear and close right now. So, and that's staying like that even to the Great Conjunction, okay, Mars and Aries, aspect in the Great Conjunction, again increasing the risk, potential risk for conflict at the end of this year, beginning next year, definitely. And we can see this down below on Earth, as above so below. We can see nations coming to loggerheads with each other, and people being divided, coming to loggerheads with each other. Again, this especially is dangerous civilly in the US, okay, because of major divisions there, especially after the conclusion of the Electoral College, again, no matter what happens. And even though the stock market looks good right now, it's fixed, okay, it's totally fixed, and it will crash very soon, causing more anger and chaos, and it will probably reach the number of 33,000, and then it will begin to go the opposite way. It's as if they're trying to sucker everybody in right now. Again, I could be wrong, I'm not a stock market professional, I'm just going with astrological, what's happening above concerning what's taking place down below, in relation to what's taking place down below. And this is what I've foreseen, this is my prediction. But if you want to get into the stock market, that's your choice, totally your choice. I'm not saying don't, I'm just saying in my opinion, it's going to come crumbling down very soon, even though it looks very good right now. Now, moving on to Joe Biden, as this solar eclipse lands in his first house, the house of the self and his vitality or life in general. This shows big change in that area for him, which I see as twofold. First being the change of him obviously becoming president, and secondly the change in his vitality in life through either severe illness or frailness of some kind, or even possibly COVID or an assassination, but something within roughly a year, maybe even two at a long push, that leads to him not being president anymore. And I say assassination quite strongly, as Biden will be the second Catholic president ever elected, I believe, the first and last one before him being JFK, John F. Kennedy, who was of course assassinated famously, and also elected just like Biden will be on a Great Conjunction year. So that's my prediction for Biden based on this eclipse. Again, I could be half wrong here, but let's wait and see. Now, this eclipse is also lining up with the rough timing of Brexit for the UK, January 1st, and we will probably hear news of some kind of deal or lack thereof around about the point of this eclipse, and or the Great Conjunction maybe, just slightly before, but definitely around about this time. Sagittarius representing the sign of travel, of course, also showing Britain going it alone potentially in the hardest aspect. Also, this eclipse is roughly lining up with more lockdowns in January, regardless of a vaccine, okay, because more lockdowns will be more effective in getting people wanting vaccinated, okay? More lockdowns until most people get vaccinated. It will help, in their minds, encourage more people to get it. Because again, of the promise that once most people do get it, the lockdowns can finally end. See, it's an incentive in their mind. Now, I personally see this whole vaccine rollout scenario like a Masonic initiation ritual of blind trust, and also a kind of referendum on the powers that be actually staying in power in the West into the age of Aquarius. Like I've been saying in many other videos for a long time now, they need our permission for this. And our vote for this, I believe, is through trust in the vaccine. Okay, if more than 50% of people have trust and take it, then their rule, the powers that be rule, will continue. Otherwise it does not. But that's my personal view on this matter. They want your vote through your trust and your confidence in them, your blind trust and blind confidence, just as they do in Masonic initiation rituals, exact same. Okay folks, I think I went on enough for this video. A huge thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the bell at the right hand side of the subscribe button. Until next time, take care.